Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs Podcast. We're on season 7, episode number 42. Tonight's the sports edition. Andy, how are you doing on this glorious August 24th?
I cut myself ripping up my brackets from the state tournament, but I think I'm on paper cut there. But
Any bracket busters?
Yes, but I'm okay. I asked for a couple of them because unlike the NCAA, when I filled these out, I went with my heart, not my wallet. So,
well, it's fun filling these out for A, B, and C.
Yes.
And you're right. It's tough with the draft. You don't know any team can beat any team, and then there's mix-ups on Class A that I got wrong. That were some shockers, but a couple bracket busters. We're done with the first opening weekend though, and that's. I don't want to say it's good to get out of the way, but boy, the dust really settles because now you're down into the Sweet 16 for A, B, and C. Single elimination. Everyone plays. No buys coming up. Let's start off the episode with the trivia question, and it's baseball related, Andy. It's baseball related. In Major League Baseball, which pitcher yesterday did something no starting pitcher has done in over 135 years? I think it's 135 years it's never been done. It happened. And I'm not saying it's good either. It's been 136 years, Andy. Something happened. We'll announce it at the end of the show from a starting pitcher that hasn't been done in 136 years of Major League Baseball.
All right, here we go. We're here to educate, Dan.
Yes.
That's all we do. Now, I don't have the game results. I just have the next game schedules here for the tournament. We do it a little differently here. We go Friday, Saturday, Sunday schedule. So there we are. New Prague, Shakopee, Jordan. So far, I've heard nothing bad about the locations. Been going good so far. So here we go. Friday's games, Shakopee and Elko Express. That's a Class A second round game. Wyndham and Litchfield, Class C second round game. That one's at the Jordan, at the Mini-Met. And then New Prague and Glencoe at New Prague. So that should be kind of interesting right there for that Class C second round game Friday night. Glencoe is going to be the home team, but it is at New Prague physically. So we'll see how that turns out. So it's Shakopee at the top. Shakopee is the road team, but because they were 17 and 20, made the tournament, but they're hosting. Here we go. But this is why we play the games. Saturday, we start with the 11 a.m. games. Oh, I'm sorry. Those were all 7:30 games tomorrow night, or Friday night, 7:30. 11 a.m. Class A second round, Minnetonka and St. Paul Mudhens. Class B second round game, Union Hill and Delano. That should be a good game right there. And then the Stockman Irish, St. Patrick Irish. Class A second round game at New Prague.
Irish battle.
1:30 round. Northwest Orioles and the St. Anthony Hogs. Class A. Forest Lake and Sartell was a Class A game. And at the Joe, Watertown Red Devils and the Sauk Rapids Cyclones. I will be there. But I will be there to personal state, not to professional state, so please no autographs. I'll be there with family, so we'll just try to have a good time.
Duly noted.
So, yes. I mean, I won't be rude about it. Maybe a quick selfie, but let's keep the autographs to a minimum. 4 o'clock round of games. Scheduled 4 o'clock, of course. These can go later. Cold Springs and Fairmont, your Class C second round. Buckman Billy Goats and the St. Martin Martins. Class B second round game at 4 o'clock. Richmond Royals and my pick to win it all for Class C, Cologne Highlanders. 4 o'clock game there. 6:30 game. If you can make through all 4, congratulations. Luxembourg, the Brewers and the Bruins. Let's not get those confused now. Brewers and Bruins. It's Class C second round. Again, Brown playing the late game. They got some guys kind of long in the tooth on that team. They can't be staying out that late. They got to figure that out. The Nisswa Lightning and the Raymond Rockets at the Joe. And then the Saints and the Saints again at New Prague. So that should be a Class C second round game there. Sunday, 11 o'clock, right after church. Cold Spring Springers and the Bluffton Braves, Starbucks Stars and the Urbank Parker's Prairie Bombers, the Joe Elk River and the Max Industrial Warriors. Your 130 round, Chaska Cubs in Coon Rapids, Kimball Express and the Sobolewski Skis. At the Mini Met, it's the Atwater and the Hanska. Class C games there. Then the 4 o'clock games, kind of rounding off Sunday for the second weekend of the tournament. Mud Hens and Baseball 365 for Class A second round at the Joe at the Mini Met. Young America and Jordan. That should be an awesome game right there. And then Plato and the Sartell Racing Sharks. So there you go. Class B there also. Plato get by the first round, ruining my bracket, so I kind of, booed them. But if you notice the things here, Dan, before we get to more stuff, the Crow River was undefeated this first weekend. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, very impressive. Tough to do.
Yep. Yes. Here we go. Now more sports stuff from the fastest growing podcast in all of Western Carver County. NASCAR has 1 weekend left. Here's the spots for the chase. 3 more spots are up. Bubba Wallace, Austin Cedric, and SVG are on the bubble there. Daniel Shores has got enough points where he can't get knocked down, so he's in. So there's 3 spots, 5 guys fighting for him. Russ Chastain, you see 66 points out. Ryan Pierce, 31 points out, but someone blows a tire in the first couple laps, and the other guy wins it. Guess what? You're out, and the other guy's in. So might be see a lot of guys playing safe, jockeying for positions because you get some bonus points based on where you are. Should be some fun racing. Bubba's not a lock, but he's pretty darn close. But Bubba gets a little cocky sometimes, so let's see what happens there. If you haven't heard, finally, the NBA has declared these 2 gentlemen are ineligible.
Why? Why is that?
I guess they've figured out what the W stands for in WNBA. I think when Mr. Freedom wore his shirt there that described what a woman was, they figured it out. Woman, noun, adult, human, female. I think they figured that out. And with Royce White there, for those of you who don't know, he ran for political office here in Minnesota. I'm just saying this because I'm an open guy. Normally, he's bald. I think he pulls off the long hair pretty good myself.
The wig is awesome.
He could wear that. He can go to some, hairball concert or some old 80s band concert, and he's going to fit right in. No one's going to say different. You got to let the hair grow out, Royce. It looks good on you.
Now, was there 3 or 4 guys who declared themselves?
Well, these
eligible?
2 officially, and a lot of guys talked about it.
Okay, so that was the difference.
These 2 had actually done the paperwork. And also, Mr. Freedom there got kicked out of a game last night for wearing that shirt. There was a mother-daughter mother-daughter couple earlier this week had their XXXY shirts on, were asked to cover them up as they were in the crowd. But yet the coaches could wear trans kids are people too, or whatever the hell it said on there.
We support trans kids.
Which is another reason why the WNBA will not get a nickel of my money. Ever.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to follow this group, even for our show going forward. Until
they say sorry.
Correct.
But hey, they actually do have stuff going on. Top 8 teams make it. Here's the standings right now with just a few games to go. The Lynx do have the top spot cinched up, locked up, guaranteed. I don't know what big words there. The rest are just kind of jockeying for position if you look there. So we'll see how that all pans out here in the end. They announced next year's Little League Classic as the Cubs and Blue Jays. Now, I got a problem here. I was going to make this a soapbox, but Kevin started a new medication and couldn't get it figured in real late. So
didn't get it dialed in. Now, what is this? Tell the listeners what this is.
What they do is in the Little League Classic. It's out in our Williamsport where they have the Little League games. They have a Major League field there. So they had a game last night, Brewers and the Braves. And after the game, they all high-five each other like little kids do after a game. It's all about the kids. Some of the kid players get to ask questions and this and that. Here's one of my beefs with it. In that game last night, They did not have the ABS. You could not challenge a ball or strikes. They didn't have that hooked up for it for that game at that temporary field. If you're going to go through all the, turn it down for a little bit, Pastor. If you're going to through all the pissing and moaning to get this thing hooked up for all the games, do it for all the games. Because if it's not going to be for that game, then that should be an exhibition and not count in the standings. The rules should be put in for every game. They'd be like, oh, you know what? It's a day game, so we got time on our side. If it's extra innings, no ghost runner at second. Same thing. Either you have that rule for all games or not.
The Field of Dreams, same thing.
Yeah.
Twins, Phillies, they didn't hook it up. It was not ABS game.
Yeah. You have it or you don't.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to set that stuff up, but that's why they do it, because it's been voted on to implement it. So now I can't say that it's too hard to set it up for this one-off game, but that's part of the deal when you agreed to do this, to do it for all games. So I don't take that as a good enough reason, I guess, that it's too complicated to set up. Money's not a problem for the Major League Baseball.
And then you know what you do? Use that little box that the networks used to have on there, and they go to New York and see if it was in that little box or not. Then use that. You got to have something. You can't say, oh, we have it for all games except these couple. It's like I said, if it's a day game and it goes extra innings, do you not have the ghost runner now? Because, well, it's a day game. We got daylight time on our side.
Yeah.
Same thing. Last year, the big dumper had 60 home runs. So far this year, he's got 54 hits.
I think you called it.
Didn't I say he was a flash in the pan last year?
Flash in the pan. Not that it's a bad thing. He had a tremendous year.
Great year. God bless him. Had a great year. Hope he cashed that check before the ink dried on it. You know.
But could he duplicate it? Highly unlikely.
But he can't even get 60 hits yet. And the fact that he's still in there fighting at this, yes, he was injured and missed some of the season. I don't want excuses. I want results. The fact he's still in there shows you how good a defensive catcher he still is. But is he going to be there opening day next year? In the starting lineup.
Fair question.
Maybe on the team, but starting lineup next year. Twins Phillies Field Dreams game, like I said, saw a drop in fans. Well, okay, yeah, both were playoff contenders. Phillies are fighting for first place. Twins are fighting for a playoff spot, but the Phillies got off such a horrible start. No one bought tickets at the beginning of the year for this game because they were doing horrible. The Twins are below 500. Playoffs or not, people are looking at the record to see who they're going to see. If you're going to push a sport that's not in my town here to play, I'm going to look at the records. Oh, this team's below 500. That one's barely above 500. I ain't going. I don't care if they're in the playoff race or not. Get teams in there that be good. Either that or suck it up and just don't do these games.
Yeah, and it's been 2 or 3 years since they did one of them.
Mm-hmm. And look,
I think 2 years. I think it was 2 years off. So it's not apples to apples, but fair enough. I mean, whatever. I don't know.
The PWHL, they have the Walter Cup. That's their version of the Stanley Cup. Now, here when the guys win the Stanley Cup, they each take it to their hometown during the offseason. Well, the Minnesota Frost won it the first 2 years, and we took care of the cup as best they're on. The Montreal Victory, so some Americans will bastardize it and say, they've lost it. The Walter Cup replica trophy that was traveling around to members of the Montreal team for local celebrations was misplaced by the shipping company on its way toward another gal's hometown.
The shipping company.
They've misplaced it. Now, I know from places I've worked at, you got to file a damage report through UPS or FedEx or whatever. You send your replica trophy with a shipping. Now, unlike the Stanley Cup, who has those two guys with white gloves that, that's their life to take care of this. When you're done with it, just put the shipping label onto the next girl's house and drop it off at the local UPS store. Wow.
No.
They lost it.
So, Andy, when you order something online and you can check the tracking status and it tells you every hub or business it's at, and every stop along the way, and when it was set out for delivery, and what truck it's on.
Yeah.
You can tell everything. So this was obviously stolen, right? This is a fraud case.
I'm going to go with that because it's I
got it. Someone's got it. It may have been even a prank, but who knows? Yeah. But it's making the news.
Yeah, I don't know how you misplace it. Again, I don't know. That's all I can say. All right. Mark Stan. No one knows who the hell this guy is. He's now the major owner of the Twin Rolls and Lynx. He was a minor owner. Now he's a major owner. Kind of looks like a young Doogie Howser. He's a I looked him up. Very big in the tech world and the microchips and stuff like that. So he is it was his checkbook, his businesses that fronted him to be the controlling owner, but his wife would be the one doing all the office work because he's still got to concentrate on his billion-dollar companies, not his million-dollar companies. And you go, well, but he bought it. He should be running it, not his wife. Look up most of the owners on most sports teams. They're just the name on the check. Mark's name is going to sign the checks. Very big decisions to be involved with. The day-to-day stuff, the old lady's taking care of. Because that way, he could put her on the payroll and, hey, well,
Interesting.
And another thing, I was drinking and doing some thinking the other day.
Okay. This will be good.
Owner of the 49ers. A prostitution ring. Got arrested for. I'm just going to say this. Jed, you're an all right looking guy. Your wife, she's all right. Little Jerry Ryan looking ish there. $140 trailer park prostitution arrest. Jed, I live in a trailer park and I know what $140 will get you. Dude, I am sorry. Your wife is way better. I don't know what your issue is then. Just saying, good luck to you. But wow.
Well, it looks like
I know what $140 will get you, dude, and I got nothing.
I'm guessing there was alcohol involved and some.
I'm gonna assume there was something like that. It was a little. I don't know if it was minors, it was people trafficking, what was going on, but I don't know. I'm hearing a whole bunch of different things, but wow.
140, dude, that makes the headlines right there. Just mentioning the dollar.
You own the 49ers, you get better than $140 from the trailer park. Come on.
Yeah, it's
dig up Heidi Fleiss's phone number. Even she's got connections still to get you better than that.
It's very interesting. Wow. Now, Andy.
Yes.
We have 3 weeks left of Town Ball. 2 weeks left. 2 weekends. Sorry, 2 weekends left of Town Ball in the state. 16 teams each. They're done with the Chaska location as far as, it's always a backup, but they're done
weather permitting, yes.
Weekend. Weather permitting, that's going to have it ready on the standby, but they're going to go with New Prague, Shakopee, Jordan for the remaining 2 weeks. Chaska's the backup plan. Even Chaska's in it themselves. They got to play on the road as a host team. That's fair enough. The summer, the TC Mabel League had their championships. That's a Twin Cities men's amateur baseball league. Kind of competes there with the Federal League, but they had their championships. They're now done. The schedules are going to be released this week. I think they were released yesterday for the Twin Cities Fall League. Schedules were released. That's going to be coming up. Those guys play on Wednesday nights and Sunday afternoons in the Twin Cities area. And that's really it for baseball. Minor leagues are going to wrap up here in a couple weeks, 3 weeks, and then AAA goes longer, of course, and then the majors. So we're quickly going to get into this. You're going to see a lot of football shoved in your face. Last exhibition game of football.
I just got to say this before you get too far down that. We had 3 classes for Town Ball. We had the Federal League, the other Federal League, same age bracket.
Yep.
You got your Senior League and your Super Senior League starting up pretty soon here. We got the Northwood leagues at play. The Saints do well. Yet the Twins can't give away tickets. But baseball is pretty popular here in a state where all you hear of is hockey, fishing, and golf, how they're so popular here all the time too. these baseball leagues must be drawing enough fans to still have the league going. Because
Well,
the players sure as hell ain't getting paid. There's got to be enough money coming in to make it worth turning on the lights at the field and paying the umps and everything else. So baseball is more popular than you think.
There's a lot of volunteer work and a lot of people getting by and not making much, but because it's so popular, that is why it succeeds. The Federal League in the state of Minnesota, in the nation, is the #1 state tournament league for 35 plus baseball in the nation. It's the one here in Minnesota. The Town Ball amateur tournament that we're following right now, there's nothing like it in the nation. This is huge stuff. There's a 60 plus league in the state of Minnesota. There's a 50 plus league that's got more than 35 teams in it. That's 50 plus only. And we've got these other various leagues as well. That's
how many
18
does Minnesota
plus.
send down to the Roy Hobbs thing?
Roy Hobbs tournament and the tournaments in Arizona, those World Series, are tournaments that are 28 plus, 35 plus, 45 plus, 50 plus. And most of those tournaments, there's 4 or 5 teams in each bracket, each year, each week down at those tournaments. And Minnesota represents very well. So, like I say, you hear all about the hockey and the cold weather and whatnot and the hockey capital, but baseball is huge here. It's almost like, golf is such a short season, but a lot of people say they love playing the Minnesota golf courses because it's unbelievable for golf and such a short season. It's almost like that. It's a hidden gem. Golf and baseball are huge in the state of Minnesota that people in the South that play it many more months look up to it and respect it. There's something about it. Hopefully we can get some comments as well. Yeah. But the 50 plus league, there's still another month. I think there's 5 weeks left of that season, and the 60 plus league ends. Both have their tournaments in the state of Minnesota late September. And because there's so many fields to register and to try to get guys playing on that 50 and 60 league, they push their season out and they end in September. So you get the whole kind of an extra month by yourself without having to fight all scheduling conflicts, because the youth traveling teams are so huge. The youth community ed teams, the Babe Ruth, the Senior Legion, Junior Legion, these things are also huge in the state that fields are tough to come by. Many of these fields have over 100 games played on them in a short season like this.
And yet those last few weeks in August, town ball teams might need it for a makeup game. So they can't really book up their stadium,
Yeah, and they do, and then they do tune-up games and things like that as well. So now we're down to just 3 ballparks open really for the amateur, but these other leagues are still, their games are still being played. Groundskeepers are still doing their thing. The fields are still being taken care of and whatnot. But it is the end of August, and it's not just 3 fields that have the lights on for amateur baseball. There's plenty other action statewide going on all around the state.
All right.
So that's good stuff. Very good. Like I said, there's some brackets busted. It's really good to watch the talent level at this level. I'm just thinking that if you're a pitcher, just pitching, if you get in a game at a state tournament and they use you to pitch, you're obviously very good. I know the roster goes deep in the regular season, the month of May before the college kids gets back. A lot of guys get their shot at pitching in an amateur game. Later in the season, probably not so much unless you're way up or way down. But boy, when you get to the state, the guys you have are all good. The draftees you have are all good. It's fun just to watch the caliber of pitching at these games. We have a trivia question answer to get.
Yes.
The trivia question. The question was, name the player that did something for the first time as a starter that hasn't been done in 136 years in Major League Baseball. A starting pitcher.
Okay.
So you're thinking maybe strikeouts, walks, hit batters.
It's gonna be something stupid, because player trades like gave up a grand slam to the same guy who was on 2 different teams or something stupid like that is what I'm thinking.
It's random, all right.
I got nothing.
Do you know the Seattle Mariners pitcher?
I've heard of them.
Bryce Miller.
Okay.
So 6 days ago, he pitched, and they lost 22-0. Was that the final? Was it 22 zip?
Yeah.
Big deal, kind of a one-off, random thing. He comes on to pitch yesterday. Mariners get beat 19-2.
Uh-oh.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the stat is in back-to-back starting games for a starting pitcher, no one in Major League history has given up 17 or more runs in back-to-back starts, or to lose by more than
oh my goodness.
17 runs or more, the final score, not the runs he gave up, all of them.
Right, but still the team lost by 17
The
runs.
team lost by more than 17 runs, by 17 or more runs in back-to-back starts for a starting pitcher. That's never happened.
Wow.
It happened to Mr. Bryce Miller.
You know what? He's getting a raise next year from somebody.
Well, he'll be forever known as a trivia question answer now because of that.
May not be the answer you want, but you're part of an answer, sir.
You're part of history now, lore, for that. Now, NFL football, we've got the 2 games done. There's one more round to go with the exhibition. Cuts will be made by Sunday. Sunday, the cuts have got to be made. Teams have got to be down to 53. And then college football is going to get kicked off. And then NFL is going to be going strong. And that's all we're really going to hear about. Unless you're a big baseball fan, baseball's going to get pushed to the side. Is what the major media likes to do, is just to push the NFL down our throats. But
that's why
there's very good baseball yet to be had. Minor league games are still in full force. So playoffs. Major leagues. Northwoods League is done. They had their championship games, and Northwoods League is wrapped up. So still a lot of baseball around, but we'll see you next week, everybody.
Yeah, you got baseball. You get that right here. You get some hockey. A lot of college hockey starting pretty soon around here. A lot of other college sports for the winter. You're going to follow.
College football, high school sports are going to be kicking off.
College and high school wrestling to be real big this year again now. Well, we got it all here.
Stay tuned. We'll be providing all of it here for you. Fastest, largest growing podcast in all of Western Carver County.
That's right.
We'll see you next week.